topics living the same. All presentation, sports information, in the air, we're taking a nation. Sport all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? It is Mr. Bond Chronicles here with my man Marcus. Marcus, how you doing, brother?
How you feeling, Ray?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. We got a holiday weekend going on. We got the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics in a close game finally. So that's exciting. But, man, I'm good. My Dubs, and they're not my Dubs. I like Steph, but they're not my team. But they got it done, got Luka up out of there, and moved on with their playoff lives. They're in the finals, awaiting the winner of the Miami-Boston series, and we got ourselves a game. Unfortunately, Pat Bev is on the halftime show, but I can't hear it. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to speak on what my man Pat Bev saying, but you know he's speaking them facts because Pat Bev don't lie. You know what I'm saying? They keep it 100. But with that being said, we are almost to the end of the quote-unquote playoffs. We're almost to the finals. Like I said, Golden State got it done. Clay had Game 6 Clay in Game 5. Luka, did not have the best game. But ultimately, the playoffs have been up and down. We've seen a bunch of blowouts. We've seen some close games. But I think ultimately the better teams have advanced typically. But in your honest opinion, Marcus, how would you recap the playoffs? Were these a good playoffs? Were they maybe not as competitive as you would like, or would you say they're on par with what you were looking for?
I'm gonna say I thought they'd have been better. Like at this point, it's like the healthiest team is going to win the championship at this point. So I'm feeling like they all could have been better. Like from the Memphis to the Warriors game injuries, the Sixers, Toronto injury to Sixers, Miami injury. Like I'm at some point you're gonna need a star or two, matched up with each other in the playoffs to make it, somewhat interesting. Like I've been watching the games because they've been fun to watch, and they wasn't blowouts. Like this series is going on right now has been good in the first half, basically, or the second half. Either it's been total blowouts or they haven't even made it past the first quarter in some of these games. So I think the most interesting series that we've seen so far during the playoffs probably was, I would have to say, Milwaukee and Boston. I think they gave us everything that we needed. I think like one game was blowouts, but the rest of them was defense. Who could oppose their will better on each other. So I think the best series so far had to be Boston and Milwaukee.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I'm gonna lean to Dallas Phoenix just because of the upset. Obviously, it went to a Game 7, so you can't speak against a Game 7. What else I was gonna say? And Dallas got it done on the road. So you look at the number one team, who, by all accounts, was the best team in the league, had the best record, had a borderline MVP finalist. Chris Paul is Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton, a lot of people like him, but for them to get upset, and especially where they lost at home in a Game 7, I think was probably the most compelling for me. Just to give everyone an update, the second half has started. Miami is currently up 53-49. So definitely a big turn of events from, I think we expected Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra to make adjustments. I didn't know what to expect of Jimmy Butler. He has been wildly inconsistent, to say the least. But overall, I don't think I expect them to just lay down. So I am glad to see Miami fighting back. They're currently up 3, but I don't know if they get it done per se. But it's been kind of wild. So for you, given what you've seen, Miami currently up, Who do you think comes out of this series? Do you think Boston closes out tonight? Do they go to Miami and do it? Can Miami hold on and win 2 straight? What would you say is you think is going to happen in this series?
If Boston doesn't close it out tonight, I think they're going to have a tough time in Miami trying to close it out in a Game 7. Because at this point, you don't know who's going to be in the lineup with anybody at this point. You don't know if Marcus Smart going to be in the lineup. You don't know if Al Horford going to be in the lineup. You don't know if Jason Tatum might be in the lineup. Jaylen Brown looked like he got banged up a little early in the game, if I looked at it correctly. So with Boston, you just don't know. So they're going to have to close this out tonight because Miami, they seem to have been the same Miami throughout this whole playoffs. They had these bad games. They had games looking like Howard, the number 1 seed in the East, and like how they even make it this far. And then they have days like where they can't miss. You know, everybody shooting. Strauss is shooting. Jimmy Butler shooting. I even think Kyle Lowry doing a little bit right now in the game. So it's like Miami is Miami. But I think if Boston plays around with them and doesn't close them out tonight, they're going to lose Game 7 in Miami.
Oh, just like Phoenix lost Game 7 with Chris Paul on the court. And you wouldn't even think, based on the way the game turned out, that Chris Paul played. But newsflash, Chris Paul did play. They got blown out and embarrassed. So it looks like David Ortiz is in the building. Chris Paul Robinson has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to state that Chris ran from the smoke last week and chose a dinner with the CEO of the organization and company versus coming and standing in front of us. But Chris, we're glad to have you. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. So I'm getting in trouble for having business meetings, sir. Spur of the moment meetings. I mean, you know.
I simply would like to point out the convenience of when the meeting was scheduled.
In my defense, it was not on me. That was on Mr. Henderson.
So, Chris, would you like to confirm? Did you agree to the time? Did you say that you were free or available at that time?
You know what? I'm gonna let Freddie talk to you about that. I told him to tell you specifically that this was his idea, and because I was like, man, Ray gonna think I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah, Freddie ran from the last podcast episode we had the other night, so I'm used to it. You know,
man, I was ready. I was ready. Like I'll go in tonight on it. I still got my defense.
In my past life, I was a runner. I was a track star, so I'm used to people running. I can catch them. I used to run the 200 and the 400, so I got a little distance on me. But Chris, we are glad to have you. So refreshing to see your face in the face of adversity. But we were discussing the current playoffs, and so we did want to get your takeaways outside of.
You know what? I'm gonna get into that later on.
Phoenix and Cliff Paul coming up short in a blowout versus Luka, and now Steph and Clay and the boys have dispatched of them. What has been your overall takeoff? From what I've seen, the ratings are up with the NBA playoffs back. Golden State has been a driver in that. So as much as people may love to hate them or believe they cheated, ratings, I believe, are up. Anyone can fact check me on that. But what has been your overall takeaway from the playoffs? What have you thought?
Just a question on what you just said. How they cheated? Like, why are people saying they cheated?
Listen, I didn't say that. You know, they feel like, you know, it's not fair. The super team, that whole gambit. People don't like Golden State because of.
Well, I get that because I don't like Golden State, but no, they did everything.
Is it because you're a hater, or why don't you like Golden State? I don't know what. I don't understand how people don't like Golden State. They're likable.
You know
guys.
what? My thing was like, I was a huge Steph fan, you know, years ago.
Until he dropped Chris Paul.
You know what? That did kind of set me wrong, but hey, that's the game. But no, in all honesty, it was just like the shimmying, man. Like, I don't want to see all that. I'm not a big fan of all the showboating and all that. Like, at one point, you're the best shooter ever. So you've made several threes. Stop dancing. Just chill, man.
So in this moment, I would like to refer to the great orator Shannon Sharp, who reminds us on a regular basis that when people go on vacation, even when it's not their first vacation, they keep taking pictures. Why do you take pictures when you've been on vacation? Why not act like you've been there?
Because you're probably in a different place and you want to remember that.
This is a different team. It's a different season. I don't. What's the
multiple
difference?
times a game? You just made one like 3 plays ago. Calm your ass down and get back and play what you think is defense.
Oh, rather than being a cone like someone we know. I understand. Well, I understand. The haters. If you don't have any haters, you're not doing something right. That's what the ladies.
And then Draymond, he's just like the second worst person alive besides Pat Bev.
That's a big statement. There's a lot of people in the world.
Okay, in the NBA then.
Okay. So. Fair enough. I think Chris Paul is above Draymond.
What?
Chris Paul is a terror. I'm not going to call him a terrorist on the NBA level, but I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way, the way he conducts himself, his demeanor, his low blows back to college, his, in my opinion, overhypeness. I do appreciate. Listen, Pat Bev is enjoying his moment. Pat Bev is trying to maximize his moment and parlay this moment into a next career.
Like Draymond did,
Yeah, but Draymond's made a lot more money than Pat Bev.
Right. Also, Draymond's
significantly more accomplished.
He can make complete sentences and stuff like that. Other than Pat Bev. So let Pat Bev have his moment right now.
I will not. I cannot stand Pat Bev. And this was before then. It was just I didn't like Pat Bev when he was in Houston.
I feel like the old adage is true. Pat Bev is one of those guys you love him when he's on your team, you hate him when he's not.
See, I've never thought that. I don't know. I guess I've never been a fan of a team that he's on.
You don't think Phoenix could have used a Pat Bev in this playoffs?
Mm-mm.
Specifically,
they had Jay Crowder. They had Jay Crowder.
No. I'm talking about the point guard position because you have been very clear that campaign is not the answer. So
Pat Bev would have been the answer neither.
Right? No,
like campaign just Pat Bev without the dog in them. I mean, they're not getting up offensively.
But
I won't go that far. He's a better offensive player than Pat Bev. Pat Bev be better on defense.
I don't know. Like Pat Bev, I guess
I feel like the dog is what was missing in that Dallas series. I feel like a Pat Bev would have been very instrumental in whether it be potentially trying to frustrate Luka or Jalen Brunson. I feel like that type of player is valuable. And I don't think Phoenix had that. I don't think Jay Crowder is that anymore. I think Jay Crowder's he's uppitized himself, so to speak. He's not that dog like he used to be, in my opinion. I don't see the chippy play, the borderline like Marcus Smart. That's he'll dive at your ankles. I don't think Jay Crowder is that person anymore. Where Pat Bev definitely is that kind of person.
I don't even know Jay Crowder was ever that dude to begin with. He might have had a few plays here and there in Cleveland. Might have had a few plays
he definitely wasn't
in Utah, but
he was a good defensive player. But to your point, Marcus, I don't know that he was kind of that grungy, dirty, dog-ish, blue-collar type of player. I mean, he got his hair always nicely done. Like he's one of those guys.
He is what we call the dark-skinned guys that always just looks mean. So we always gotta have this persona to us. But he's not. He's a good-looking dark-skinned brother, and he plays his game.
Understand. Oh, Al Horford with the board, but
to answer your question, the playoffs have been pretty exciting. I mean, of course, I'm extremely disappointed with a series, but
well, you can say it because I'm extremely disappointed in my Sixers.
That was your fault expectations for the Doc Rivers Harden team.
So,
yeah.
Like we told you from the beginning. I told you like day one that wasn't gonna work.
So what would you guys say quickly, since we kind of pivoted a bit? What would you say has been the most disappointing team?
We did that last. Did y'all do that last week? That was the topic I gave last week. So y'all should do it again.
Okay.
I mean, we can do it now. I'm just talking.
Actually, we did do that, but I went a different way with it. I said my Sixers was the most disappointing team,
which was not true
at all.
I mean, I thought it was.
As a fan, yeah, but I mean, in all honesty,
just in general, because I had no expectation for Phoenix, like most folks did.
So how are you disappointed?
I mean, if the Pelicans take you to 6 games without their best player, like there's no real expectations for Phoenix, for me, so I can see them. I see why they lost to Dallas.
They're the 1 seed by 8 games. What do you mean there's no expectations? Chris Paul, he needs the championship.
They were like late. I mean, late into the season, like they were everybody's favorites to win the
title. That's the thing. Everybody,
not just come out the West to win the title.
Had me out here looking.
The thing is, they want Chris Paul to win the title, so they overhype Phoenix. So they're trying to give Chris Paul.
No, that's not it at all. It was just Phoenix was a good team.
They were a good team. They were good on defense. They were a good shooting team. They had all the components you would think. And then
they had a great coach. I mean,
but that doesn't mean that having number 1 seed doesn't make you necessarily the best team when you're in the playoffs, because everything goes 0-0 from there.
But it brings expectations.
So your expectations, as the media would do, us included, you would think they put Phoenix up there so Chris Paul can have a legacy. They wanted Chris Paul to get a ring, but that didn't happen. So outside of Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who did you really have offensively?
I like campaign.
And Cam Johnson.
Who did y'all have offensively?
Yeah, Cam Johnson. You can't take him away. I mean, Aiden was finally getting Aiden was, it was crazy. Like he would dominate the paint. He was just too.
Aiden and Adebayo, they're interchangeable. They're the same guy.
They're the same guy. So it's like outside of those two, Devin Booker and Chris Paul. So and neither one of them scoring, you're going to get that 40-point blowout in a game 7 because you only have 2 scorers in a sense, or 2 people that can put the ball in the basket or create their own shot. Because everybody else,
that's what it was. Yeah,
and your 2 best players didn't show up. Chris nor Devin Booker played well in game 7.
So therefore, the expectation for Phoenix is what most folks got disappointed in. So that being said,
but that's why they were disappointed, because they had such high expectations.
This year is a failure for Phoenix.
Yeah, 100%.
The window's closing. You got an Ayton issue. You got a Chris Paul issue. He's making a ton of money. He's getting older, and you got some other players you might lose. Some of those savvy vets that might be up, like they may want to go somewhere else. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff. I think they're still Phoenix, but Denver should be better next year. I think the Lakers will be better next year. Golden State has a lot of options. I think they'll be back. I don't think they're going anywhere. The Clippers should definitely be better with Kawhi and Paul George coming back, and free agencies available. So
no, it's what the Pelicans are going to do.
The Pelicans, I think San Antonio will be better.
I ain't going that far.
The Golden
They'll be
State,
better.
This was the good for Golden State to do what they're doing now, because everything lined up for Golden State to be where they at.
What do you mean? Like, outside of Ja's injury, what really lined up for them?
Memphis lined up for them perfectly, and they had
it went 6.
Yeah,
and they got about 55, or they were down.
Who was their first round team? Denver.
Yeah. The MVP.
They
played the MVP.
They have no real competition.
Like he said, though, that's the MVP. I don't like Golden State, but I can't knock what they did. Like
who had a harder path than Golden State?
I said they had it lined up for them to get to where they at. I ain't really knocking it. It just lined up for them to get where they going.
But that's not their fault. Like, realistically, they were supposed to play Phoenix. Phoenix choked. So you can't fault Golden State for that. They're playing who's in front of them.
And
they would have beat Phoenix. They would have beat Phoenix too if they played Phoenix.
So
everything lined up for Golden State, like I said, perfectly. From Ja going down when he did, from Dylan Brooks getting basically a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, that was trash.
In that Memphis game. And they had Denver in the first round. Like, who really expected Denver to do anything other than the bull crap folks in the media that votes for wrong MVPs? Like, Denver's proven that they are a 6.
Yeah, but they could have got the
16
Pelicans
team.
or the Spurs or something. They got a good team.
No, they didn't. Like Denver, nobody was expecting Denver to go nowhere, as usual.
You are right though.
It's like they lined up for him. I'm not disrespecting it.
But who had a
see.
harder first round matchup of the top seeds? I would say Golden State had the toughest matchup.
No, because they was the 4th seed, I believe, or the 5th. They weren't even the top seed.
No, Golden State was
They're 4. No,
They
they
were
were
4,
3.
I believe. They were 4.
3. Dallas
Did
was
they
4.
No, Dallas was 4. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dallas was 4.
Yeah.
So they was 3.
Yeah, Golden State was
They
3.
because they got Denver, who was 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the easy like the first round of the playoffs.
Wait, who did Memphis have first round?
Memphis had
the Wolves. That's
Wolves,
a hard series.
I think that was a better series than anybody gave it credit for.
Yeah, that was.
Let's
be honest.
In the first round, that was the best series in the first round.
And let's be honest though, if
You
CJ
think
goes to
Minnesota's a better team
CJ goes to
than
the
Denver?
Pelicans earlier, they're a higher seed too. So that's not like the Pelicans weren't your typical 8 seed.
I agree. I just think Denver was still better than those teams, in my opinion.
I think Denver would have got beat by the Pelicans if they was in that different situation. How they played Phoenix, because Denver.
So as currently constructed,
What
no
would the
MPJ.
Pelicans have done with Jokic?
I mean, the same thing they did against DeAndre Ayton and stuff.
Don't
like
do that. Please don't do that.
They went out in
disrespect Nikola Jokic by comparing him to DeAndre Ayton.
I sure could, because I will respect the
fact
that
kidding me?
he goes back to back with the MVP when his game is not that tough.
Let me tell you right now, DeAndre Ayton will never win an MVP.
Oh, nobody's thinking that.
I'm with you on that.
So how are we?
He probably never had a top 5 finish. I mean,
but the thing is, that's why I hate MVP voting, because it's never the most valuable player in the game. It never is, because even when Jokic won it the prior year, he was still the 6th seed.
Right.
So we agree on that.
So how?
Nobody thinks. I don't think anybody here thinks Jokic should have been MVP.
Nobody. Even when he got the first year, none of his peers think he should have got it. That's telling you something.
Yeah, but they voted him again. So somebody thought he was MVP. His first team All-NBA.
Well, he had to be first team in All-NBA if he wins MVP. You
that's
can't
the
win.
thing. He first team. It's another thing that he first team All-NBA for the simple fact that they had to have a center, and they put Embiid as a forward. He got more votes as a forward than the center. So Jokic got that off of default, basically, because Embiid don't even play forward. He's a strictly center. So I don't even know how he got first place votes as a forward.
I think they were trying to do that kind of how, like, you know, for all-star votes, they do front court, back court. I think they're trying to do it like they were trying to do that, but
there's no way in the world you put Embiid as a forward. It's just impossible. So they wanted Jokic to have that.
But I think that's the thing that I didn't like, and I think we have that. I think that's a topic. So I'll say, yeah, all NBA. I'll save my takes for that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Might as well go to it now. We're here.
Okay, we're here. My issue with that is I saw point guards. I saw 2 point guards, like third team All NBA. I think was 2 point guards. It was Trae Young and I don't know if I still have the
Chris Paul. They were third.
Yeah. Like, so if you can have 2 point guards, you should be able to have 2 centers. I think they need to redo it. And yeah, I have it here. Same thing for the second team. Steph and Ja are both point guards. So if you can have 2 point guards, I don't see why you can't have 2 centers. I love Jason. That's not true. I like Jason Tatum, but there's no reason they can't put Embiid on that first team and move Jason Tatum somewhere else.
He said that himself in one of his.
And then I guess then it becomes that what is it? So are you just doing front court, back court?
But the same thing they do for the All. They should do that. It should just be 3 front court players, 2 back court players.
So if you pull that graphic back up again, what do they consider Giannis?
He's a 4.
And Tatum
is a 3.
Another forward, right?
Yeah.
And then Doncic is what, a shooting guard?
Yeah. And which he is technically the point. It's almost like they get those 2.
by that token, DeMar DeRozan isn't really a small forward. I mean,
no, he isn't. He's a
I guess
shooting
by
guard.
default, if you say Zach LaVine's the shooting guard, but DeRozan's not really a small forward.
And
I think he plays both, though, right?
I would actually put Ja Morant where Luka is as a point guard on there.
Whoa.
You mean Ja on first team
I would put Ja on first team.
over Luka?
He missed too many games.
I'm about to say he missed too many games, but I would put him there. Matter of fact, I would even give Steph his credit because he ain't missed that many games. I'll put him where Luka is, and then I would take out Tatum. I would take out Tatum and put Embiid.
Listen,
in there.
Luka Doncic is first team All NBA.
Well, Luka has to be first team.
Luka and Jokic and Giannis are the locks. Now Booker and Tatum, based on what we've seen, you can in the regular season and playoffs, you can kind of move them around.
You have to put Booker first team because Booker get MVP votes.
A lock in it
because he won MVP, so you gotta reward him.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
He ain't
if you make Jokic second team All NBA and he won the MVP, everybody got to turn in their card.
That's the same way that Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year.
And
they get no NBA first team, defense, second team, or third team.
And
which
something's
is
wrong.
Outrageous.
I agree with you.
It's outrageous. So yes, you could do that to Jokic because he didn't deserve to be the MVP this year because he didn't show nothing different, or his team wasn't in no better position than it was the prior years. And then Luka, what was he, the fourth seed?
Yeah.
The fourth seed. So with that being said, you could definitely take out which going to put Steph in there for Luka or Ja Morant. If Ja Morant didn't miss that many games,
but he did miss that many games, so he has to be.
Dallas overachieved in the regular season and in the playoffs. Luka deserves to be first team.
No.
If you take Luka off Dallas, they're a lottery team.
And I ever think that you should take DeMar DeRozan off that second team and put Chris Paul in there.
What? No.
What? Chris Paul shouldn't be in any of the leagues.
Oh, that's a debt. Right.
I'm just saying because
let's get right. You mean to tell me Darius Garland didn't deserve third team over Chris Paul?
Who?
Darius Garland.
Listen, I like him in Cleveland, so
exactly.
Yes, I like him in Cleveland, but no.
We saw what Phoenix was without Chris Paul in the second half of the season. We saw Chris Paul in the playoffs. He was not worthy of All NBA.
So the first team on that list, only person that should have been a lock.
Jimmy Butler's not a guard.
Is Giannis.
He is a guard. What is he?
Jimmy Butler plays 3.
No, he don't. Let me check that. Jimmy Butler has been a shooting guard his whole career.
I feel like he plays. I played 3 in Miami.
No, he's the shooting guard.
I mean, he was technically, Jimmy got 30 tonight. Welcome back, Jimmy Butler. Technically, they have Max Strus, I guess, as their 2 guard. But Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think he.
Okay. Well, that makes my point even more. Then bench LeBron James. You can't tell me that the number 1 team in the East doesn't have a player represented in All NBA.
I just did.
And the guy that didn't make the play.
Okay, well, fine. If you're so you don't bitch LeBron because of what LeBron did. You could probably put Jimmy in Siakam's place.
But Toronto overachieved, and they was playing without fans almost all year.
That is true. So you could definitely take Siakam.
LeBron had Westbrook, and
no, he had a top 75 players. What you saying? You're saying he had an MVP riding shotgun.
So we would even Kevin Durant should be third team.
How?
Who are you putting in his spot?
That's a good question.
Kevin Durant deserves to be second team.
No, he missed too many games. And
that team was first in the East until he got hurt.
Yeah, but he missed too many games too.
They plummeted.
I would that's the thing. I would replace him, and I would put Luka in second team.
But you're moving guards and forwards.
Matter of fact, I'll replace Durant with Jokic because I'm putting Embiid in the first team.
I'm good with that.
Wait, say that again.
But no, you could just swap them. You could leave KD where he's at and put your Embiid. But unless you're saying Jokic needs to be first, then I move Tatum.
Well, no. So if we swap,
Boston started the year awful. They finished strong, but they started
strong. So yeah, I would flop Jokic and Embiid, but then I would flop. No, yeah, Jokic and Embiid, and then that's why I flop. But I don't
And
think KD deserves second team. He should be a third team.
all
But
right,
who you
so
putting in his
where
spot?
did
Then I would swap Chris Paul and I would swap Kevin Durant.
But you can't.
so you're putting
guard
Chris
versus
Paul
forward.
on second
we
team?
can't. Right, so we
No,
can't.
Chris Paul's out of here. Darius Garland, Jimmy Butler. If you say he's a 3, okay, cool. I would take CJ McCollum over what Chris Paul did. CJ McCollum changed life in New Orleans.
He did, but
So
he
you're only
still
looking
had
at like
number
26
1 seed.
games. Shut up. No, Ray.
Matter of
You're
fact,
wasn't Pat
I would take off Kevin Durant and Siakam. I'll put Durant third team, and I'll play Jared Allen where Kevin Durant is.
No,
Because
sir.
Cleveland had a good record with him in it.
Right. That's why you put Garland in and take either Trey or Chris Paul for real. I think Trey Young was
I
a
just
season. Was
don't
a
see
Yeah,
they
I don't
do
really
it.
agree with Trey on there, but I don't know who else you would put. I wouldn't put Garland.
Y'all
I
some
get
haters.
Cleveland did good.
I mean,
but
you could
you're not
put
gonna do
Garland in for Trey.
McCollum or Ingram didn't make All NBA.
I think McCollum should have got some consideration for what he did in New Orleans.
But
That was a big
you're
turnaround.
only saying that based off of like that quarter of a season that he was there. You can't
And
do
we
that.
so we're throwing Jimmy Butler out. Jimmy Butler ain't have a good year.
Like I said, I would put Butler in Siakam spot.
And
I mean,
leave
you could,
LeBron.
yeah.
That didn't make the
You
playoffs.
got LeBron had 30.
Yeah, LeBron's
Who
average
cares?
30.
It didn't translate
averaged
to no
30.
win.
He
He was
averaged
on the
30.
team. Yeah, so what?
Kevin Durant's on there too. And
Kevin
he
Durant,
averaged a little less
Kevin
than
Durant
that.
made the playoffs.
To do what?
He made the playoffs. One guy made the playoffs, one guy didn't. End of discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all
Kevin
all
Durant won
popularity.
Kevin Durant's team won 44 games. LeBron's team won 33. Like, what are we talking about?
And I'm not taking Kevin Durant off. But I'm just
I'll
saying,
replace him on
you
the
got to
third-
keep
put him
LeBron
the
on there.
third
He
team.
had 30. Like, just for that
So
alone.
you're also keeping Chris Paul over Donovan Mitchell for regular season?
Yes.
How?
I'm not even a Chris Paul fan like that, but Donovan Mitchell proven nothing. Like,
Right.
And I'm
Nothing.
talking regular season.
Me too. Like
They
nothing.
won they almost won 50 games.
How many did the Suns win?
He had Devin Booker. First team
He had Rudy Gobert.
Really?
A defensive player of the year candidate.
So we're comparing Rudy Gobert and Devin Booker. That's what we're doing?
What
Chris
awards
Paul
did
had
Devin Booker
DeAndre
nominated for
Ayton.
at the end of the season?
Chris
What
Paul,
award?
DeAndre Ayton,
Who's
Mikal
not getting the
Bridges,
bag? Who's
Cam
not getting paid?
Johnson, Cam Payne, Jay Crowder, JaVale McGee, Monty Williams. You want to talk about help? You want to talk about other people?
You
What are you
did.
talking about?
I'm just saying Utah.
Donovan Mitchell was a solo performer without Bogdanovich all year. No, not Bogdanovich. Who's the lefty? Joe Ingles. Didn't
Joe
really
Ingles.
play.
I was trying to think of his name. Yeah.
Joe
Who
Ingles.
else is there? He got his team to the 5th seed.
To do what?
Yeah,
It's a
bouncing
regular
first
season award. It's not about to do what.
You brought up the playoffs for Chris Paul.
When?
All I'm saying
Just a
is
second ago.
that first team All NBA is
I
fraud.
said they were better with they extended their lead without him. The playoffs don't matter in this. Clearly.
Right.
That's why LeBron's on here.
That's why Jokic is on there.
Well, Jokic made the playoffs. And he's the MVP, so he's got to be there.
I wish you'll stop saying that. He stinks, man. Come
Oh,
on.
he does. He's
It's
trash.
not even. It's not that he stinks.
Like, I'm not a
but,
fan of Jokic. I don't know.
Like, it's not that he stinks. Let me
Let's not go
rephrase
to
it. It's not that he
stinks and
stinks.
trash.
He's just not MVP worthy back to
Yeah.
back. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I said this from the beginning. Devin Booker and Embiid would have been my favorites with Giannis third. But
Yeah.
this is the world we live in. So if you are going to reward him for being MVP, the Marc Gasol thing won't happen again. Nobody's going to win MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, any great award, and then not be first team All NBA.
He
Some
wasn't
people
even
were
second
drunk.
team or third team.
I thought he was second team.
They got second
that
team.
year.
Did he get second team?
Yeah, he got second team. LeBron got first, who should have got Defensive Player of the Year that year.
So,
But he didn't. Jimmy Butler cooking. Just quick update. We're in the fourth quarter. The Heat just went up 6 on a Jimmy Butler jump shot and 1. So Miami's still in there.
84-78. Good game.
How they close out. And somehow Jimmy Butler was not all NBA. Go figure that.
Because
But yeah,
in the regular season, he just doesn't give you his playoff performances. So that's what I give him.
They were the 1 seed in the East. What do you mean?
But
How does it
all
seem
because of Jimmy Butler?
He takes his game to another level when he's in the playoffs. Clearly,
we agree on that, but you still need to reward somebody from that team if you're the best team in a conference.
I get that.
Now, Bam can kick rocks. Tyler Hero kick rocks. Jimmy Butler was I'm talking about all NBA.
Oh.
I mean, they can kick rocks either way, but
so what
all
you gonna put him on? You're gonna put him on the third team, first team, or second team?
Jimmy?
I'll do third over Siakam.
Siakam or LeBron. I value, and I've been consistent in this, and anybody who's watching knows, winning should matter.
It should.
And if you're the best team in a conference, your best player should be represented somewhere in the All-NBA. That just doesn't make sense to me. They're not that many role players.
Nowadays, that doesn't make sense the way they vote nowadays, because I agree with you. If you represent the West and the East, the top seeds, you should have a player or two on all NBA, even in All-Star games. This system is fraud, straight fraud.
We can definitely agree with that. And personally, for the regular season, I would take Drew Holiday over Chris Paul. Personally,
Yeah, I'm a fan of Drew Holiday because he was a Sixer first. So I agree.
Ray just talking now. He on that Pat Bev type stuff. He just want to slander Chris Paul's name for no apparent reason.
I would take him over Trae Young also.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't.
Drew Holiday had a good year. What do you mean?
No.
I'll definitely take Drew back.
What did Drew Holiday average? Like 15?
See, now
but his defense makes up for a lot of stuff too. So
just for the record, Drew averaged 18, 4.5, and 6.8 rebound. It's 6.8 assists. So 18 and 7.
And he can play defense.
And he plays defense, and he usually takes the best player. He doesn't just play defense. He guards the best player usually on the other team.
Pull the thing back up.
And his shot selection is always going to be great, unlike Trae Young.
And he's low turnover, unlike Trae Young, who I believe
on that list.
Turnovers.
Out of those, outside Giannis and Embiid, who is really known for defense on that list right there?
Known for defense?
Yeah, like
no one.
No one.
Okay. So why are we putting Drew Holiday on there for defense? No, that's not what this is about. This is basically your offensive threats.
Right. No, but if you have
there's a whole other thing for it.
If you stand out on defense and you're good offensively, Chris Paul was 14, 4, and 10. I'll give him 11. So Holiday averaged more rebounds, more points, and less assists, but he also played better defense.
So that assist led to more scoring, which led to more wins.
Who?
Chris Paul's.
He missed the second half of the season.
How many games did Chris Paul actually miss? Because you act like he didn't play anything after the All-Star break.
He played 65 games, they said, this year.
That is a lot.
By his standards, that's a lot.
And Drew played 67. So they played about the same amount.
Okay.
One had more points. One had more rebounds.
One had more wins. Defender. Winning matters, right? You know what you just said?
And we've discussed that Phoenix had a better team. Arguably with a better coach. I'm taking Monty over Boot.
But
I don't know. We've seen that Monty doesn't make adjustments in the playoffs.
He didn't adjust to one player. He made adjustments. He just didn't fix the Giannis situation.
This year he didn't fix the Luka situation.
What could he do? He tried everybody.
Try something different.
Who else is there?
Put Wayne right out there and let him just take Luka out. Do something. I don't know.
I mean, he can't help that Chris Paul booked. Nobody showed up in Game 7. Like,
bro, like I really feel like there's gonna be some kind of like tell-all book or something that we're gonna find out later about that game.
Like, remember, after 2 games, we thought it was gonna be a sweep.
No, I never thought that.
I thought it was going to beat them in 5.
I said
it
6.
It was not looking competitive. After 2 games, it was not competitive.
Even after that, I still said 6.
Okay, I'll give you that. But it did not look like Dallas belonged on the floor with Phoenix. And then they did. So I don't know. I disagree with a couple things.
So okay, now I know this is completely not like a topic. I just want to say something because I didn't say it last week.
Talk to us.
Out what point guard, and be like really think about what I'm about to ask. What point guard did we give this expectation to outside of Chris Paul?
What's the expectation?
Yeah, what's the expectation?
That you have to be the leader of this team. Like, no. You need to lead them to the championship. Like, we never.
Nobody expects Chris Paul to do that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because Chris Paul gets the blame for not going. Yeah, everybody does. We expect Chris Paul to be like the facilitator and the leader and all that. Like,
if you're the point guy, then that's what you're supposed to do.
Chris, answer
like,
this
even
for me.
Like outside of Isaiah Thomas, what?
Chris, answer
guard?
this for me. If Golden State loses to Memphis without Ja, what are people talking about Steph?
That he couldn't do it.
So what are you saying?
But that's not saying that like we're expecting Steph to do it all. Like you know what?
If they lose,
we would have blamed it on Clay. We would have blamed it on Clay for not showing up.
No, sir.
Yes, because Clay wasn't the same. Well, he's hurt. You know, Steph did what he could do. You're gonna praise Steph still, like,
and that's the difference. If Chris Paul had played really well and they still lost, Chris Paul doesn't get the criticism he got. But when Chris Paul scored,
he still would because it would have been the thing. Yes, he would because he still couldn't get it over the hump.
If Chris Paul was doing in the fourth quarter, if he was going 14-14 and they still lost, people are not looking at Chris Paul the same way. When Chris Paul stopped shooting, like he wasn't a bad percentage, he just wouldn't shoot. And you get blown out at home in Game 7 versus
like I'm just talking about like in general, like name me one point guard outside of Isaiah Thomas that we were like, okay, you have to be everything on this team. You have to be the best player.
That's why they killed Kyrie. They killed Kyrie in Boston because
no.
Steph got killed once they blew that 3-1.
The reason they killed Kyrie is because Kyrie left to be his own man. They were like, you can't do it. Like Kyrie made that big deal.
Right, but they killed him for his stay in Boston. They killed him for it. They also kill him because the Cavs were in the lottery every year without LeBron.
He gets the excuse of that though. Like it's always he was young. He had no help.
Steph got killed,
and there's only one point guard.
When did Steph get killed?
Westbrook been getting killed as long as he's been.
But it's not for championship expectations though. We killed Westbrook because of his style of play.
James Harden been getting killed.
James Harden's not a point guard
this year with LeBron.
James Harden's not a point guard.
James Harden's a point guard. At this point in James Harden's career, for the last 5 years, James Harden's been a point guard. Since he's been in Houston, he's been a point guard.
He's been getting killed. So these point guards that has a ball in their hands a lot, they get killed because they're not doing nothing with it in a sense.
And you got to understand, there's levels. No one else is called point guard. No one else is a Hall of Famer. No one else is a top 75 player. So the expectation is different. Very soon, they're going to start killing Trae Young. He keep performing like this in the playoffs, he's going to start getting a whole lot more criticism. Damian Lillard is another one.
Yeah, there you go.
Dame's never going to get criticized because he's staying in Portland. We're only going to criticize Dame for being loyal.
They criticize Dame now.
Yes.
For being dumb, for staying in Portland.
No, for not performing well in the playoffs.
When has he not performed well?
I would say that's quite a few. He's hit some walk-off shots.
For him, that's more so the team concept for.
Right, I'm saying, like, you can't say it was on Dame. Like, Dame just hasn't had the help.
Because he has hit big shots to send him to the second round, but that's as far as he's got.
He's also had some really bad shooting.
No, he went to the Western Conference Finals. Remember they got swept?
Did he? Who they play?
The Warriors.
Yes, you're right.
The year KD got hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Got up out of there. Got swept.
Yeah.
So I think typically it's going to fall on the point guard, especially when you're an elite point guard.
It falls on a point guard, yes. But I'm just saying though, like we want Chris Paul to be like
what you
like,
say.
if you don't go,
if he's a top 75 player, a first ballot Hall of Famer, a point guard, yes, the expectations are different.
Nobody else get called the point guard other than Chris Paul.
So even if it was like Westbrook in that same position, like he still doesn't have the expectation that we put on Chris Paul.
Yes, he do.
No, he does not.
Look how he's getting killed for the Lakers.
You do realize the
we're
Lakers,
criticizing Westbrook, not
the Lakers. This year were the second betting favorite by Vegas to win it all because of Russ. That was his cross.
But nobody expected Russ to be the main reason, though. Like he was a contributing factor.
Nobody expected Chris Paul to be the main reason.
Yes, you do.
No, we didn't.
Yes,
who's expecting Chris Paul to lead a team to the finals?
That's what he's there for, to be a leader.
A leader, not
he also
the
put those
guy
expectations on himself when he took OKC to the playoffs.
Okay, so I've had this argument. Who was the best player on Phoenix?
Devin Booker, hands down.
Okay, so I've had arguments that people have told me, because I felt it was Booker too, that it was Chris Paul. And so like the expectation was on him. Our CEO is our CEO.
Well, we know Freddie's wrong all the time. Freddie be talking crazy. Freddie needs to be drug tested.
And sometimes his hot takes are a little too hot. I think they need to cool off sometimes with his hot takes. So as much as he is the CEO of this company, but Chris Paul still was the driving force, the point guard.
And that's fine. Like, I'll give you that.
So, but also before Chris Paul showed up, Devin Booker was being bounced out, not even getting into the playoffs. So
yeah, but
Chris
that's
Paul
over now. Even if they won't get off Chris Paul this summer, I wish they could because that contract is bad. There's a bunch of bad point guard contracts now that I think about it.
A bunch of them.
How is Chris Paul's contract bad? Like, in all honesty,
he's making $40 million at like 38.
He's 37. No, he just turned 38. He still got 3 years.
He just turned 37.
That's an awful deal, especially when you're only putting up what did I say the numbers were for
14, like 14,
11 assists. You have 11 assists. He was the assist leader.
14 and 11 is not $40 million a year money.
You're the assist leader.
Ricky Rubio could probably put up 14 and 11 on that team.
Actually, I like Ricky Rubio. Like, I just don't know where he's playing at right now. Oh, it's Cleveland. That's right.
I think they traded him.
They traded him. I
Did
don't
they?
see the league.
I thought
they traded him somewhere. I think he tore his ACL, so he got to come back.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Yep.
But you can't name another guy making $40 million a year, averaging less than 15 points. Like that's
what a
just
Westbrook average.
Let me check.
You could put Ben Simmons in that category.
He didn't play, but he doesn't count.
Oh, man.
Russell averaged 18, 7, and 7.
Oh, Rubio's on the Pacers.
And Russ only missed 4 games, which also matters.
He really took a game off because he sat so long. His back was
hurt.
They benched him.
So I give him 3.
He was sick of carrying third team All NBA LeBron around, but dang, time flies.
They'll be better next year.
Before we get ready to get out of here, I do want to touch on this because I think this is a good topic. What will winning the Finals MVP do for Steph's legacy? I'll start with you, Chris, since you're a Steph hater. Is he top 10 all time? Is he past Magic? That's what I was about
to say. No, he does not pass Magic.
Well, we all know Magic's overrated, but a conversation for another day.
See, this is why I don't trust your opinion on Chris Paul, because you don't know anything about point guards, obviously.
I don't know that he played with like 5 top 75 players.
Anyway,
it's hard to lose when you got that many great players around.
LeBron,
you got the greatest scorer of all time. Like, what are we doing?
Kareem was like 97 years old when he played with Magic.
He was still one of the greatest players of all time.
I think it does move Steph. Yeah, he has to be unquestionably top 10. If he wins the Finals MVP, I mean, he's already the second best point guard ever. You can't argue that. My man changed the game completely with the 3-point shot. Like, everybody shoots threes now. You know, you got your 7-footer shooting threes. He has the unanimous MVP. So right there already, you know, solidified him as an elite point guard. If he gets the Finals MVP on a year that they were not expected to do anything, yeah, Steph's top 10. As much as it hurts me to say it.
And I'm going to say he's not. Like, this is going to be the hottest take of all hottest takes right now.
Oh, man, Marcus. You always do it.
And I'm going to do it.
You know what, Marcus? Marcus, you might be able to convince me that he's not. Let's go.
Yeah, because I'm going to do it right now because I feel as though Steph gets too much credit. He's overrated on Golden State right now. And I think he gets too much credit for what Klay Thompson put in position for them to win these championships. There, I said it. Klay gets no love whatsoever for what he does. I'm sorry. And then,
we have a nickname for Klay.
Like I said,
it's Game 6 Klay. Like, we give Klay all the credit.
He is great in Game 6.
He gets credit for nothing.
Clay's been really bad a lot of this year.
Before Klay hurt his knee or his ACL there, Klay was giving you 20-some points a game and guarding your best defender on a nightly basis. Plain and simple. Steph just had the luxury to run around, catch the ball from Draymond, shoot a three, it goes in, it looks good, awesome. When it doesn't look good,
you just reduce Steph Curry is flagrant and disrespectful.
Well, I'm not really.
You know what though? Like, I think that's the thing.
I'm more so building Klay up because Klay does most of the bulk of the defense on their best players.
Not anymore.
Well, when you're coming off of ACL, like, it's not going to be right.
The ACL was 2 years ago.
He just got back right. That's what I'm saying. He just got back right.
And he's a liability on defense.
And here's what Steph. Here's where you could tell Steph is overrated when he don't even get Finals MVP on that 2015
They robbed
season.
him.
Okay, so let's go. Let's go again. Let's go again. Now that after y'all lost in 2016, y'all go recruit Kevin Durant, and then he gets Finals MVP back to back.
Because he's a great player.
Okay, now hold on. Then you miss the playoffs. Well, you get it. I think you get in the year. No, you missed the year after your lottery team. Before Steph got hurt, there was no Klay. What was they doing? Bottom of the West. So let's think about this for a second.
But Steph missed like half that season, though.
No, he missed half that season.
He played 5 games that year.
I think he got hurt when he got hurt in like
he got hurt the next year he played 5 games. He had the hand and somehow the hand came out all year. And so, then the next year they lost the play-in tournament to Memphis.
They didn't make it, and then they had to play in, and I think they lost the play-in, right?
Yeah,
to Memphis.
Yeah, so there you go. So let's not act like Steph is this all
that
great
team overachieved. Do you know how bad that Warriors team was?
Let's not act like Steph.
No, what was trash that year though was that Steph got MVP consideration last year. Like, that was trash.
So
that team was awful.
So
Steph got MVP consideration, and they didn't make the playoffs. So you can tell, as much as winning matters, you cannot agree with that.
With Klay Thompson being out, we see what Steph Curry is. When Draymond's out, we see what Steph Curry is and what he's not. So Steph Curry is overrated on Golden State. That's what I'm saying.
You do know before Klay came back, they were like second in the West.
With Draymond. And Poole emerged with Wiggins. With Wiggins. So let's not act like Wiggins was
you're going to say all these, you just named a bunch of players. So all these players exceeded expectations, but you're not going to say that Steph was a part of the reason why they
he's on the team. So I cannot say he's not. What I'm saying is he's overrated on Golden State.
Who was Jonathan Kuminga before Steph? Nobody.
So, Marcus, if you take Steph off of Golden State, are they still in the playoffs?
Yes, Jordan Poole was in the playoffs. Would it help
until Steph started playing full-time, Jordan Poole was a G League player. And then magically, Steph comes back full-time. Look at Jordan Poole take off. Let's not forget that he's been playing with – you say he was a lottery team. Their lottery player hasn't played.
There's a lottery team when Klay was going.
Because Steph played
That's how they
5
was
games.
able to get. That's how I was able to get them top picks because Clay was out.
Steph
So
was out too. He played
he was just
5
out
games.
for that 1 year. For that
Right,
one
and that's
season.
when they won the lottery.
And when they came
The
back,
next
there was a
year-
playoff. There was a play-in team and got bounced. So let's not act like Steph is this all-time great point guard that can lead you somewhere. when
We
he's not.
saw what LeBron did with another top 75 player when he didn't have enough help. They didn't even make the play-in.
No, that was just this year, and I'm not even gonna put that on LeBron for being a 38-year-old guy trying to take a team somewhere.
So who do you
When
put it
Steph
on?
is 5 years younger. Steph is overrated on Golden State. Like Clay gets no love whatsoever.
That's
Like,
not true.
that's true. I just named you. I just gave you facts. with Steph.
You're saying Clay gets no love? People love Clay. He's part of the best
He gets no
backcourt,
love. Like
the best
you're
shooting
not
backcourt of
even
all
asking-
time,
You asking?
includes both of them.
Here's the thing. You asking if Clay? Did y'all ask if Clay? What would it help Clay's legacy if he wins Finals MVP? We asking about Steph's legacy. Think about that.
He just had an opportunity. He didn't win even the Western Conference MVP.
And I don't even think he should have got that Magic Johnson award. To tell you the truth, Kevon Looney should have got that.
You know what?
So,
I was gonna say that actually.
yeah. So I don't even want to hear that. Like he is overrated on Golden State. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's an overrated basketball player, but on Golden State, he's overrated. I chose my words wisely.
That last sentence, I was with you for that last sentence.
Think about it.
Are you kidding
He's
me?
not even your best playmaker on your team. Draymond is. He's not even your best defender on the team. Clay is.
So okay. So should he have not won those MVP
Now,
awards?
you can make the argument him and Clay are at the top as far as shooting wise. Like they right here with each other. So
Steph's
is he
a better
really the
shooter
best
than
shooter
Clay,
on the team?
and I love Clay.
Think about that for a second.
You do realize in this postseason, Kevon Looney's averaging 6 points.
No, not in the postseason. The
That's
Western
not what I
Conference
said.
Finals.
I'm talking about he shouldn't have got that award because once Steve Kerr put him back in there, you see what they did to Dallas. I mean, who was
Let me give you let's give you Kevon Looney's points in the Dallas series. 10, 21, 9, 3, 10.
How many rebounds?
Rebounding.
And he had the game 1, he had 5,
Game 2,
12,
Game
6, and 18.
Oh my!
That's who should have won MVP.
How many? What did Steph give you there? By the numbers.
Let's pull them up because they're readily available. He said a guy averaging 5 points should have won.
I'm not going by points though. I'm going by the impact of the game.
You got to score at some point. You can't just play defense.
Iguodala did.
Steph don't play defense,
and that was a robbery. Steph does play. That's a false narrative also.
That's not a false narrative.
Steph had 21. He had 12 rebounds in game 1, 8 rebounds in game 2, 11 assists in game 3, 8 assists in game 4, 9 assists in game 5, and then he gave you 21, 32, 31, 20, and 15.
What did Clay do?
I'm sorry?
Clay. What was Clay's points?
Let me pull up Clay really quickly.
Matter of fact, what is Jordan Poole? I'm sure Jordan Poole had
Jordan Poole was a basic. He wasn't a no-show, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
Jordan Poole.
he wasn't the Poole that we knew.
Clay went 15, 15, 19, 12, and then 32. And no real standout games. He's right around 4 or 5 assists and rebounds a game. And Damien has been drinking and smoking tonight. So my man, enjoy your weekend. But Kawhi didn't even play.
I mean, he's overrated. Please let me know that.
I don't know. Damien, you can feel free to respond.
Well, Marcus agrees on the KD part, right?
He does. And now Curry's overrated.
I respect that, Damien, but when you said Embiid like that
how is LeBron overrated? And I'm not even a LeBron guy, but overrated, I don't see that.
I mean, if you want to come overrated in his 19th season, I get it.
He really wasn't overrated this season.
Yeah, if he's overrated in his 19th season, then
Who's overrated?
that's
The only
a
way
compliment
LeBron was overrated was the fact that he shouldn't have been third team All NBA.
But let's think, he averaged 30 in year 19. Like that alone is why you get all NBA.
Listen. People keep bringing up year 19, year 20. I don't care about any of that. This year, you were on the court. How did you perform? How did your team perform?
You averaged 30
though.
You don't get bonus points for being old and being good. I don't give you.
First of all, I'm not even going to try to defend LeBron, but anytime you got Westbrook on your team and a bunch of nobodies with street clothes that's not even playing, and you still average 30, I'm sorry.
So the two-time MVP, the guy that averaged a triple-double 3 seasons in a row, a finals appearance, let's not act like Westbrook is just trash. He's a top 75 player. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
I've never cared for
That's why you know that this voting, when he's top 75, you know the voting is definitely.
Well, he had to be top 75. The triple double thing. Like he was gonna get top 75 for that.
And rightfully so.
Triple doubles.
Like that's historic. When you make history by a wide margin, you're a top player.
He's not the first to do it, though. That's what I'm saying. If he was the first to do it,
but he's the first to do it multiple years.
Right.
You know, I already know that Westbrook triple-double thing. To me,
and yes,
he's overrated.
He wasn't the first to do it, but he's there's only 2 people that have done it. It ain't like it's 20 people. 2 people have done it. He's one of them, and he's done it more than anyone.
He ain't changed the game like Steph Curry did, right? Exactly.
Right, but there's only like 4 people that changed.
You know why nobody's out there chasing triple doubles like that? Because nobody's going to give people rebounds like they did Westbrook. I'm sorry. That's why.
Here he go.
So I'm not.
So what's your opinion on Steph, right? Like the legacy question.
Y'all know where I'm at. So he's top 10. He passes Magic. All of that.
Well, you already thought he's passed Magic.
You already thought he passed Magic.
Not yet. No,
you got no bias whatsoever when it comes to this.
You got to have at least one Finals MVP before you can start talking about best at a position of all time.
So wait. If you think Magic's over, who do you think is the best point guard?
Magic right now. But if Steph wins a 4th Finals and a Finals MVP, we got to have a conversation.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Not even close.
We're still not having that conversation.
It's still not even close.
The same way you criticize Steph for the year he played 5 games, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, till I'm dead and gone, till my ashes are spread over the Northern Lights. Magic played with the best talent of any point guard probably ever.
So if Steph's the best shooter ever, did he not play with arguably the second best shooter ever?
For 2 years. Oh, you're talking about Clay?
Yeah.
Yes, Clay wasn't Clay until 5 to 7 years.
But he became Clay. Okay.
And then one player. That's one.
And then for 2 years, he played with arguably the best scorer ever.
And here's the thing about Golden State and Steph.
No, Magic played with the best scorer ever.
Steph has the luxury of playing
of his career.
No. He had the most points, but the best scorer is Kevin Durant.
No, the guy
Kevin Durant's not even the best scorer. He's overrated when it comes to scoring. Boy, people kill me with this.
The most unstoppable shot, Magic played with him.
How's he overrated as a scorer, Marcus?
Who, Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a second. If he's not even averaging more points than LeBron. Let's think about that for a second. And if he's supposed to be this all-time greatest scorer, like people say, is he even in the top 10 scoring list right now?
He's hurt. He can score from everywhere.
It doesn't matter.
He can score from everywhere on the court.
It doesn't matter. LeBron say is a pass first guy, but LeBron's about to be the number 1 scoring person in the league for a pass first guy.
He's played 37 years.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. LeBron is hitting every longevity award known to man.
Kevin Durant came in, I believe, 3 years later after LeBron.
And how many seasons has Kevin Durant missed?
That's on Kevin Durant. He's overrated.
How many years did LeBron play with Russ in his prime?
What do it matter?
The point guard that distributes the ball.
If you're so good at what you do.
Russell Westbrook was having more shot attempts than Kevin Durant.
If you so
How
good
many
at what
times
you
did
do,
LeBron have a guy
here's the thing,
taking more
that
shots?
even at his height and the scoring that he does,
So what now?
even at his height and the way he can score, LeBron can almost do it the same way.
Let's be
But he
clear.
can't do it from everywhere like Durant.
When LeBron went to Cleveland, his points dropped. You want to know why? He was playing with a guy named Kyrie. Imagine playing with Russ. Not this year's Russ. I'm talking prime Russ.
When is prime Russ? Because clearly he giving you what he gave you in his prime. So clearly he's still in his prime if that's the case.
That's not
just
true.
highlighting him more because he's on LA.
That's not true. He didn't average a triple-double, so don't tell me he was in his prime.
Okay. You don't have to have average triple-doubles to be in your prime. He's still giving you the same season averages. That's what he's giving you.
So you said season average. The year before last, when he was in Washington, Russ was up 4 points, he was up 4 rebounds, and he was up 4 assists. So from 1 year of playing with LeBron, his stats dropped by 4 in each category.
That's because he's playing with a real star next to him, and nobody's going to give him rebounds.
Bradley Beal's not a star. Bradley Beal is a star.
Bradley Beal's a star.
He's a star. He ain't even a star because he's done nothing without John Wall or anything like that. Bradley Beal is a third option on the championship team. That's what he is.
I'll give you that, but he's still a star.
There ain't no
Bradley Beal is a second option on the championship team. He just needs to be in the right team.
No, he's not. You could drop him in Memphis right now if you wanted to. He'd be the third star on the championship team. You could drop him. You could drop him in Golden State.
Who's better than Bradley Beal in Memphis besides
Wiggins is right now?
Please don't tell me you're about to tell me Desmond Bane is a better player than Bradley Beal.
All I'm saying
you better not say Dylan Brooks.
He's not your best. He's your third best player on the championship team. I know what I'm saying.
I'm not arguing on that, but your thing on Memphis though. Who are you
How is that wrong?
Who are you putting above him in Memphis besides Ja?
I'm just saying you put him Ja and Jared Jackson. Probably Memphis' second best player.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:15.
Tell me not. How are they winning games?
Jared Jackson? You do realize Bradley Beal led the league.
How are they winning games if Durant's out?
How many games did Jared Jackson win as the number one guy? Ever.
But we know one thing: with Bradley Beal being number one guy, you don't even get into the playoffs or the play-in.
When did we get to see that?
Exactly. John Wall been going for about 3 years now, 3-4 years now.
Bradley Beal was hurt.
Did Bradley Beal win a scoring title last year?
Last year, and they made the playoffs. This year he was hurt. They made the playoffs last year.
He won a scoring title with Westbrook.
You're right. And they got bounced in the first round. And they got bounced in the first round by my Sixers.
A scoring title,
and they got bounced in the first round by my Sixers. Like I told you, Bradley Beal as your first option, you're getting nowhere. He's like you said. You said he's a third option. He's your third best. He's a third option on the championship team. I know what I'm saying.
He would be the number.
I'm not going to disagree.
He would be the number 2 in Philly. What are you talking about?
No, if we get him in the offseason, if he gets traded to the Sixers, he'd be the third best player on the team.
Please don't say Tyrese Maxey.
Because I believe Harden's
going to keep it hard if you get Beal.
I think Harden's going to have a bounce back here. So it's
you think today James Harden is a better player than Bradley Beal?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
point wise, assist wise, just better.
Yeah, assist wise.
Okay, you're going off the. This isn't the Houston James Harden anymore.
It don't have to be. Sometimes we have to expect folks to evolve their game. So if you're not gonna give me 30, 10, and 8 like you would in Houston, if you're giving me 20, 10, and 5, I'll take that. Because now you're improving as a playmaker.
Okay, so if he gives you 20, what is Bill going to give you?
Right now?
Yeah.
You talking about with Washington?
No, in general.
If he does that in Philadelphia, he's going to give you 20, 22 too. Because then he's going to take shots.
Bradley Beal played with Russell Westbrook the year before LeBron with probably less bench help, and they got to the playoffs. LeBron had AD some of the year, had Melo, had Malik Monk, had Russ all year, and didn't make the play-in.
So that's more of an indictment on Russ than it would be LeBron or Bradley Beal.
that goes to show how great Bradley Beal is, that even after they started poorly with Russell Westbrook, they led the league in scoring and got into the playoffs.
They made the play-in or the playoffs with a losing record. Let that sink in.
I don't understand what that means. They made it.
So anybody can make the playoffs.
No, they can't, because the Lakers
8 teams going to make it. Regardless of which 8 teams going to make it to the playoffs. So
the top 8 teams, though.
Even with a losing record, you could be in the top 8 with a losing record.
But you got to have like less of a losing record still.
That's what I'm saying. So even with a losing record, they still going to be in the playoffs. So Bradley Beal is your third option with championship team. I know what I'm saying here.
So you taking Jaylen Brown over Bradley Beal?
Yes, right now. Just like
I'm not gonna argue. I wouldn't disagree with that just because of you.
Because it's the system that he's playing in. That's what I'm saying. It's the system.
For who?
Jaylen Brown playing. Jaylen Brown with the Celtics. The system. If you put Bradley Beal in there, I'm taking Jaylen Brown. Celtics. But if you're going outside the Celtics, I'm not taking Jaylen Brown. Period. Just like I want to take Kyle Lowry outside of Toronto.
Kyle Lowry's trash. I've made that very clear. At this point in his career, he's washed. He's done.
He's been washed. Like outside of Toronto, I would have took Kyle Lowry. Period. Like he has his best days in Toronto. Some folks are just better on certain teams.
That is true.
Like
look at Lance Stevenson. Like when he's in Indiana, that man superpowers.
Outside of basketball, Nick Foles with the Eagles. Certain players are just better on teams. It's that simple. Like Paul George probably has better days in Indiana.
Paul George, he was an MVP candidate in
OKC.
Like I said, he has his better days in Indiana. Derrick Rose had his better days in Chicago.
Well, yeah,
because he had good legs.
Fell apart. What are you talking about?
Just had better days in Chicago. Ain't like I know what I'm saying here. So
you're right, but you're missing a lot of information.
Not necessarily. It's all there.
Like Brandon Roy was better in Portland than where he is today. Well, yeah, because his knees fell apart.
Well, no, because he only played in one team.
Like
so his body broke down. I wish I could have seen more games with Brandon Roy. I wish that injury never happened to that guy because he was just
Grant Hill was better in Detroit.
Grant Hill.
Yeah,
because he had 2 good ankles.
Right. That's my point.
I get what you're saying. I'm talking to Marcus.
What? I'm not disagreeing.
Greg Oden was great at Ohio State, but like I don't know.
Transferred to Portland though. You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying though, like your point, you can't say they were good and then like they get injured. So yeah, of course they're worse.
Once he left Chicago, Rose stunk.
Marcus.
Once Lance Stevenson left, stunk. Once
okay, now I'll give you Lance. That's it. Like Lance is like the main one.
So once Dwayne Wade left Miami, stunk.
Who stunk? He fell apart. Do you not see the injuries?
You know what I'm saying? That's why
LeBron left him.
He stunk.
That's why LeBron left him was because his knees were bad.
So there you go. I'm just saying, certain players are just like my biggest peeve to this day with the Sixers was drafting Evan Turner. Once they drafted him and they got that bum up out of there, where's Evan Turner at right now? Certain players only good in certain situations.
I don't think Evan Turner was ever that great personally, but
me neither. But I'm just saying, just using them as an example.
So Markelle Fultz is better in Orlando. Like
he doesn't play, so I don't know. He stays hurt, so I don't know.
I got to tell you, Marcus, you've done it again, and you do it every Friday, and I appreciate it. I don't know what you be saying or how you come to these conclusions, but I appreciate your honesty and your conviction. I disagree, but that's what makes ASAP great.
Oh, wait, can I do one real quick, Marcus? So Chris Webber, Sacramento, everywhere else he stunk?
He stunk. I loved him in Sacramento.
No, he was trash everywhere else.
But he stunk everywhere else. So, yeah.
His body was breaking down. Like
he still stunk outside of Sacramento. Because when we got him in Philadelphia, boy, was he garbage.
Bro, I forgot he was there.
Elton Brand, from Clippers to the Sixers, he stunk. Here's a good one.
All right, he had a year or two.
Now, here's a good one, and is living proof right now. Al Horford, from Atlanta to the Celtics, then from Celtics to Philly, back to the Celtics. Al Horford. Great
So
example.
he's better in Boston?
He's better in Boston.
No, okay, that one I'll give you.
So
Jimmy
certain
Butler's
players,
still good.
Jimmy Butler's good everywhere.
no, Jimmy Butler's the same player he's been. He's all right in Chicago.
That's what we're talking about.
He was all right in Chicago. He was all right in Minnesota. He was all right in Philadelphia.
He was an
And
all-star.
all right, and he's all
Wasn't
right
just
in
all
Miami.
right.
But he's not like it's not like like he's just falling off.
Was
completely.
KD good in OKC?
KD was okay in OKC.
Okay. Right. Wrap this up.
You know why I say he's okay? Because
you do know he won an MVP.
Sometimes y'all want to blame Westbrook for KD's what you call it? Y'all want to blame Westbrook for KD not having that dog in him in the beginning when he first. So y'all want to blame Russ.
He won the MVP
and a scoring title.
That's fine. You can win all the scoring titles.
And he's just okay.
It doesn't. He's okay. He's overrated. Like I've been telling y'all. Like there's nothing about Kevin Durant that I'm going to sit here and just give y'all whatever because y'all overrate this man. The greatest scorer ever. False.
No one said that.
They say it all the time.
No, it's that he can score from
about
anywhere.
James Harden, I guess. Okay.
It's that he can score from anywhere.
And then
Isn't KD 50-49?
First of all, once you blow, here's where you lost all credibility about Book. Once you blow a 3-1 lead and then go join a team that whooped your ass, you lost all credibility. Excuse my cursing on.
Has anybody ever had a job and left their job for a worse job? Yes. Who does that? Who does that?
Everybody outside it. Some of us would go from making.
Why would you leave a job for a worse job?
Sometimes things happen. You know.
No.
You have
in the world that we live in right now, and we're trying to get to this level that we're trying to get.
If you had the choice
right now, saying that,
and you're going to take a worse job.
Let me break this down for you. So let's just say we all at Google, right? We all at Google, right? So Google, our stocks is high. You know what I'm saying? We're doing 3-1. And then Microsoft come back and then kick our butt 5-2. Oh, you know what? I'm about to leave Google and go join Microsoft because they 5-2 right now, even though we was up 3-1. You see where I'm going with this?
Am I going to get more money at Microsoft?
Who knows? We won't know.
I'm going to get more money. I'm going to get more accolades. I'm going to Microsoft. Easy.
Really?
I've had a ton of jobs in my life. All my life I've been working. I've never taken a pay cut for a job that I was miserable in. Like, what sense does that make?
So what did he have to be miserable in OKC?
He played with Russ. He played 10 years and didn't win.
Okay.
10 years. People seem to forget. He played in Oklahoma City for 10 years alongside Russell Westbrook while he watched management let James Harden go for Serge Ibaka. And you had the opportunity to go play with Steph, Clay, Draymond in Silicon Valley when you have a business mind and he's maximized that opportunity. What idiot wouldn't take that job?
Well, I'm about to prove your point that you just said. He just downgraded to Kyrie. So, yes, he did take a worse situation.
He went to New York. The city that never sleeps.
They need to get some then because the way
he already won in Golden State. It ain't like he didn't win. He won 2 finals MVPs. What else did he have to prove in Golden State?
Like I said, ain't no way in hell you're going to bully me and then I'm going to come join your team like Golden State did to him. He's a coward, okay?
So, with your Google analogy, basically what he did was he left Google, went to Microsoft, got paid, got all his accolades.
Yeah, he went to
Microsoft. Let me go try my own.
He got 2 Employee of the Month at Microsoft, and then he came back.
He got Employee of the Year and a fat old bonus.
Anyway,
and then he took that bonus. He was like, you know what? Let me go see what my homeboy's doing in his business.
And now what he doing?
It's not gonna affect me any.
And then now what he did was he convinced himself that he was great. You know, he convinced himself that he was that good.
So now he's not even great.
Now he convinced himself that he thought he was that good that he could take a startup company and then become Google or Microsoft, and clearly he just saw.
Marcus, you do know that happens a lot.
No, I don't know that happens a lot. I'm trying.
That's
to keep it.
business.
So you said you don't leave a good situation for a worse one, and
You
clearly
build
he did.
a company and then you sell it, and then you go create a new company, and then you build it up, and then you sell it. Like that's how it works.
Well, clearly Golden State is still standing firm, so clearly he made a bad
You
choice.
just killed Golden State the whole show until 5 minutes
No,
ago. About
I did kill Golden State.
how they were a lottery team and Steph was overrated and everything else.
No,
and now you're saying
I
he's
said-
an idiot for leaving Golden State. Which
I
one
said-
is it?
I said that Steph was overhyped on his own team. That's all I said.
So
I
why
never
stay there?
said-
So why should Kevin Durant have stayed with this overhyped light-skinned shooter who's been hurt?
Because for the simple fact that he ain't doing nothing now.
I'm going to go play with the guy that beat him. Kyrie beat him when he was there. Kyrie didn't lose to Steph Curry because he was hurt that year. The 3-1 year, he went to play with the guy that beat the team I'm on.
Okay, but it took you 4 years to get to that point. Or was it 3?
Do what?
Anyway, he made a
He
bad
was hurt.
decision.
He sat out a whole year because his Achilles was gone.
For Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about when he left to join Kyrie, he could have stayed in Golden State. They had the money for him. He
No,
chose
they
to make the situation worse.
Somebody was going to have to go. They couldn't afford him. That was part of the issue.
They would have probably said Draymond out if that was the case. So
They
they could
weren't.
have kept that.
You weren't getting rid of Draymond.
You're not getting rid of Draymond. And
So
at that
basically, like I
point,
said, if KD is that great, you're not getting rid of Draymond for him? If he's
No.
that great, not gonna get rid of Clay for him?
culture and impact in Golden State matters. I don't.
Okay. Because Kevin Durant's overrated, so they wanted to give up their team for him.
Can we do the update on the game?
Miami has won by 8, so they are going back to Miami for Game 7.
So that's
Jimmy
over
Butler,
with.
I think, had 47 tonight. I don't know where he had been, but 47, 9, and 8, actually. Jaylen
Oh,
Brown,
yeah.
who you take over Bradley Beal, had a whopping 20 and fouled out. And a
Where's
closeout.
Did Bradley Beal have a whopping 20 tonight?
Bradley Beal didn't get to play with Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, Ime Udoka, who was a Coach of the Year finalist. He didn't get to play with all those great players.
I'm
He
sure
was
if
left
he
with
did, he'd
Kristaps
still be the
Porzingis.
third best option on that team. If he did.
He would be the second, vying for the first, because Jason Tatum comes and goes.
Okay.
Jason Tatum took 12 shots. There's no way Marcus Smart should have taken more shots than Jason Tatum in the closeout game at home. Unacceptable.
Well,
Flat out.
All we know now is that your boy Steph is about
And you
to
were talking about
have-
Al Horford. Al Horford gave you a whopping 3 on 1 of 8 shooting.
I mean, everybody do for a bad game every now and then.
Now. We
He's
had a
their most
bad.
consistent player.
Holy smokes. Well,
So,
ladies and
I
gentlemen,
get it. Do for a
we
bad
are,
game.
we are well over our time. It looks like Marcus needs to get some rest. His mind has been running all day long, and he's just running out of gas here, just kind of going off of adrenaline. So, Marcus,
we
I
can go
appreciate
another
you.
2 hours on this topic if we need to.
No.
I'm
good.
just saying what people don't want to say. I'm the Patrick Beverly of the show right now. I'm
I'm the Patrick Beverly of the show.
Oh,
I
it's definitely
am
right.
Patrick Beverly
It is
of the
definitely
show.
right.
You just say crazy stuff. I actually back it up in fact. You like
I
Big
backed
Baby
up.
G.
I gave you facts.
I'm
You're
Patrick
like
Beverly.
Perkins. You're more like a perk.
Yeah. You big perk.
Well, we'll carry on.
Ain't nothing wrong
But
with it.
by this time next week, we should have a finals matchup. We might even have a game or two that is
Yeah,
played.
game
So
one.
we will-
Game one is
Yeah,
Thursday.
game 1. Yep.
Thursday. Okay, so we'll
Mhm,
recap
Thursday.
game 1. Before we go, I gotta get predictions. So y'all got with Miami winning tonight. What's y'all finals prediction?
Golden State in the sweep.
Against who?
He talked all this trash about Steph Curry, and then he said Golden State's gonna win in the sweep.
Because whoever playing on the East right now, they have no offense to contend with Golden State. And at least Golden State can play some defense.
Chris,
I got Boston coming out the East and winning in 7.
You say I talk crazy.
I mean that's not that crazy. That 7 is the max, and I'm okay with that. I got Golden State, and I've been on Boston. I'm staying on Boston. I'm not jumping off. But I got Golden State in 6, maybe 7. I forget. I don't know who would have home court. But
I think Boston would.
Boston, though.
I thought Boston would have home court.
Boston won 50. No, Golden State won 53.
Golden State
Boston won 51.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State has won a road game in the last 20 series, so they can definitely win a game in Boston.
That's a sweep wherever they play, whether it's Boston or Miami. They just have enough offense.
Stop it. Just stop it.
It's not a sweep. It's not. Golden State can also. They got beat. They were down 55 to Memphis without Ja. Golden State can give you one of those games.
You feel like Boston wasn't a great defensive team.
They don't have enough offense.
Okay. Well,
so you don't trust.
I got Golden State in the sweep. It's over. Clay gets Finals MVP. That's my prediction.
First of all, that's not happening. If Clay has 100 points every game,
Chris, don't worry about it. I got you. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, we're entertained. Marcus keeps us on our toes. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy cookout, grill. Stay safe.
Oh yeah, everybody be safe.
And
we have a great Memorial Day weekend. And
we will see you Friday at 10. Please come back from some more great takes from Marcus the Magic and more trolling of Chris, Cliff, Chris Paul, Robinson.
1-0.
Assuming Chris doesn't duck us, because Chris tends to run from the smoke.
Never.
But thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365.